I'm from the Philippines.
I'm from Phoenix.
Together,
Together,
we're
we're
Phils
Phils
to
to
Phoenix.
Phoenix. Two countries.
One heart. And welcome to our stress series. Part 3.
Last one.
Yes. So today we're talking about,
Stress in a marriage.
yes,
And surprisingly, we actually don't have that stressful of a marriage.
yeah,
Just before we got started, we were sitting down and kind of.
try to have a reflection and try to, is that the correct word?
Yeah.
Reflection, internalize, and check, double checking if do we
Kind of
really
finalizing what we wanted to say during this video. And we realized that we've got a relatively stress
free.
marriage.
I agree with that.
It's not completely stress free, and I don't think there'll ever be a relationship
There's
that's
no
truly
perfect.
stress
Yeah.
stress
There's
free.
no. Okay, I'll correct myself. It's less stress, I will say.
That the typical things that American couples supposedly fight over are money, kids, and job.
Yeah.
And money, we don't really stress on. Definitely not in the way that a stereotypical couple would.
We both have.
We both have decent incomes.
Yeah.
We're not rich by any stretch of the measure.
Yeah.
But we're comfortable, and the biggest cause of stress that money causes us is just how we see about spending it
And the perspective.
and our different cultural perspectives on money.
That's true. And we normally meet halfway. Like, we ask couple questions. Do you really need to buy this? Like, I'm more of a frugal type of person, and
Well, and you gotta give me this one. As compared to a typical American, I'm pretty frugal,
yeah, that's true.
but it's still she's teaching me a ton on
Of
being
a
a lot
Philippine,
wiser.
yeah, a Filipino
spending.
frugality. It's different than American frugality.
Hugely.
Okay, go.
But there again, I'm helping her see that we've got the money, we're comfortable at it.
Yeah,
This would be really nice, and we would really, we would very much enjoy it. No, it's not something we absolutely need,
that's true.
but it's something we would definitely enjoy.
Agreed.
And kind of, that we're both helping
See
each other
those.
see, is it a need?
Or is a want?
Is it a want? Or is it a
just
would
we
like?
Yeah,
The needs we get without question.
that's true.
The wants we talk about, we think about, and we generally get those. The would likes,
It would
we
take.
talk about, and if we've got the money and it's something we really would like well enough, we'll consider if it's truly a would like or a want.
Oh, yeah, I agree with
But
that.
generally, the would likes we've learned to pass up on.
Yeah, and we try to say, do we have a money? Yes, we do, but can you wait for a couple weeks before we buy those? We normally do that. That makes sense.
Oh, and that's just it. The money issue isn't a real big thing,
Yeah.
and we're both learning a little bit from each other, and we just don't let it cause the stress that it could. And even when it was just my income alone,
Yeah, we do really stress it out.
we didn't stress anywhere near as much as a normal couple would. There were times that, and you got to remember, this is just as we were getting together, and we were still learning to cope with a lot of these.
Yeah.
There were times that it did cause a little bit more stress than it does currently. But in hindsight, I see that it was probably just as well she did cause us stress and say, no, we really don't have that money. And we really didn't. But it's been quite a while since we've had any kind of real disagreement in any way, shape, or form over money.
No, we don't.
Kids, we don't have any.
Yeah.
For various reasons, we don't ever plan on having any. And mine is grown and gone. And so that's really not a factor at all.
Yeah.
Jobs, well, my job doesn't cause a whole lot of stress to anybody at this point. Uh, your job,
It's, I would say it's a lot easier. Not really easier. It's another challenge, but it's manageable. If it's not manageable, I'll talk to you and I'll just vent out, and then the stress go away. There's still some stress.
but the job doesn't really cause any stress in the marriage.
Yeah.
And
It's more of you're just there for me to listen and you know. True.
hmm,
And sometimes, most of the times, you listen to me and you give me another perspective, and I learn from it. So
and even the times when your schoolwork and stuff
yeah.
starts taken away from us, that
That's
we've
true.
learned to find common
Common
goals
goals.
to work towards.
That's true.
And that's doing a lot to help reduce the stress levels because, for example, when she goes back to school here at the end of this week,
Yeah.
and I basically turn into a co-ed widower. Especially these more recent classes that are becoming core and a lot more intensive.
Yeah.
That
It's
she'll
just
come home, we'll have dinner, maybe watch a quick, a little bit of quick TV, and she'll go to the den for the rest of the evening and do her schoolwork. Yes, it is very frustrating for me sometimes, but at the same time, because we have that common goal of working and learning and earning,
Yeah.
and to create a better life for both of us, I understand it and learn to cope with it. There's nights that she'll finish up early and come out and spend some time with us.
Yeah.
And I'll go in a lot of nights and just do photo editing and video editing and
That's
do
true.
different things that I need to get done. So it could cause a lot of stress, but we just don't let it. It's keeping your eye on what's going on in the long term sometimes.
Agree. That's true.
Uh,
What else?
there's been a couple house projects that we've wanted to take money for that are a little bit shorter term goal.
Yeah.
And we've learned, okay, maybe we don't want to go out this week because we want to get new cabinets in the kitchen here in a couple months.
Yeah.
And recognize that, okay, yeah, we're kind of depriving ourselves of something, and she's the big one for reminding me on that one. That's me. But it's not doing it in a negative way, but just kind of reminding each other of common goals that, yeah, this is not fun, but
Yeah.
it's a common goal that'll produce a lot better for both of us.
That's true.
And my health is a big one that I need to lose this. I went to the doctor here recently, and
Yeah.
it wasn't horrible news, but it was just kind of a reinforcement. And she's been getting a lot better about kind of nagging me a little bit about, do you really need to eat that cheeseburger? And again, that's something that would cause a lot of stress to some couples. And I know it's for my own good, and she's reminding me of that, and I choose to look at it that way instead of getting stressed out about it.
Thank you.
Uh, I can't think of anything else that really...
Sometimes miscommunication, misunderstanding.
Miscommunication is probably the biggest cause of
Biggest
stress
cause.
in our relationships. And in the beginning, there was a couple of intense discussions.
Yeah.
We'll go with that. And it was just a matter of Filipinos don't use English in the same way Americans use English.
Yeah, we have a Filipino English,
And
not American English, that's for sure.
your first language isn't English, it's actually your third language.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of times that I'll say something and she'll have a completely different understanding of it. Sometimes she'll say something and I'll have a completely different understanding of it. And miscommunications and communication in general is going to be another video topic.
Yeah.
We're going to do a series on that one here shortly.
Yeah.
Don't know if it'll be a three-parter, but it'll definitely be a big episode.
Yeah. Or we can give situations and how we could it up.
But that one's been the cause of more stress in our marriage than anything else, I think. And it's not just language, but it's cultural backgrounds. It's
culture, the perspective, and how you see it, how you react to it, and the attitude. It's just more of that, more of those.
Tampa was a source of stress for a little bit.
Yeah, because I suddenly shut down.
And yeah, I didn't handle that one well at all. Instead of just shutting down and not saying anything, just kind of going off and sulking, that I prefer to have it out. I don't care if it's got to be at a high volume, and that's something that was not normal for you, that caused a little bit of stress. Well, it caused a whole lot of stress for you to start with. And going back to the way, a couple videos ago on how I deal with stress, it's sometimes just getting it off your chest in a rather loud volume.
Yeah.
But even if that's what's needed, just get it talked out somehow, some way.
I learned to do that.
And
it took me a while, but hey, I learned to do that.
There was one day we were having a intense discussion, and it was communication issues. And I just kind of walked off for a minute, and it surprised me that she came into the bedroom and looked like a little tiger coming at it. But she'd finally gotten over, just the Tampa part and just walking away, and said, "Listen, guy, you're the one that talked about wanting to finish these things out. Let's finish this out." And at that point, I managed to quiet it down a little bit. And we did. We talked it out. A little bit louder than was normal, but, definitely wasn't a normal indoor voice. But we managed to sit down and get it talked out. And came to an understanding on what was going on and got through it.
Agreed.
Not saying that couples should yell and scream at each other to get a point made. But if it comes to that, yeah, maybe you need to.
Yeah.
That
you need to let it get out from your chest, that's for sure.
But by the same token, I've also realized from her that sometimes it's better to just say, hey, let's go to neutral corners.
And be back.
Calm down. Figure out what we're trying to say. Is this really worth an argument? And just de-stress our own individual selves before we come at each other again.
That's true.
And a lot of it was just learning how to argue with each other.
That's true.
Not saying, to learning how not to argue, but just learning how to argue. Arguments in a marriage are gonna happen.
That's true.
And we needed to learn how to figure out how to argue well with each other, that we weren't causing more stress than we were resolving. And there's been times that we will still get to the point where, okay, we need to go to opposite corners for a minute.
That's true.
And figure out what's going on. And
that's it. That's that's actually can think of. What else you could think about stress in our marriage?
That this is kind of a hot topic with fil-am couples, families, family back home.
Yeah.
And again, that's a huge cultural issue. In the beginning, it caused way more stress than it does today. Not saying that it won't cause stress even today. We just had an incident here a couple weeks ago that caused a little bit of stress.
Yeah. It's just family drama.
Some family drama, and I was not happy about the way it was being handled.
Yeah. So, but we talk about it and move on. So.
But we sat down and were able to talk it out. And I respected their culture well enough
Even you're not happy with it at that moment.
to find some kind of compromise on how we both felt we could handle this and present a unified front.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the biggest thing that I think worked well for us is we've learned to find a common goal, so that we can we're both at the same point and looking to get to the same point, whether
Yeah.
it's a short-term goal of maybe later this afternoon or a long-term goal of
That's true.
3 years getting back to the Philippines.
Yeah. That's true. I guess that's it. So,
You got nothing else to say?
nothing.
Okay.
I'm running out of words and topics and ideas.
Okay.
Mabuhay!
Mabuhay!